Welcome back to the Malt Man Cave. I'm Keith.
I'm Dave.
Where you been?
Dude, just wanted to get it out of the way, but this is Beckett William.
The new addition to the Bruns family.
New addition.
Hence why Dave has been MIA for a couple of reviews.
It's why I'm looking a little tired, and but he's doing great. Mom and baby are alive and well, and he is pooping and eating and pooping and eating. And
how much sleep are you getting?
So he's being nursed. So my wife has been lucky enough to nurse all of our children, but it's so funny. This time around, I'm like, when can we switch to formula? When will this baby sleep? Because
it's so much easier.
Milk gets digested so fast, and he is
He's a little fatty,
just growing like a weed. So anyway, so they're doing great, and
you're back in the Malted Man Cave.
I'm back. I'm out of retirement, and I had to come out of retirement for this special evening.
Yep. So tonight we're doing a special review. Courtesy of George and Amy Kaplan. They recently...
Thank you, George. Thank you, Amy.
Yep, we were out of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof down in the Man Cave, so I was just talking to him. He's like, oh, I can get that. I was like, really? And I got it. And they all tried to give it to us for free. I was like, no. You've already given us enough free stuff. I'm going to buy this from you. And then so he sent it, and I Venmoed him some money, but then they slipped in some samples. So we got a Springbank 19 single cask rum cask. And then we got a special compass box that we're going to be doing tonight, coming up. All right, so as I said, we're going to be doing a special compass box tonight. We're going to be doing compass box Tobias and the Angel. Have you heard anything about this?
So I just know that whenever I'm out and about and I get I always get compass box if it's there. So yeah, I'm excited.
You love compass box?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
So, I mean, no big deal. This is only $1,000 bottle, right? No big deal. So we are very, very excited to have this.
We're going to pour one on the curb for you tonight,
Just
George.
Leave a little bit.
I actually have a little bit left. Keith was very generous with his first pour. I am going to top it off, though.
So a little bit about this. Obviously, the actual official bottle, not the big giant sample bottle that George and Amy sent us. So you can see it on this side. I think it's like a Leonardo da Vinci painting, and they had to pay quite a bit of like the rights to use it, so maybe that's part of why it's expensive. But the other part of the reason it's expensive is because it has 49.1% is Kalila, and it's in refill bourbon hogsheads, and it is 34 years. So 50% of it is 34 years
that's
old
amazing.
Kalila in refill bourbon hogsheads. And then the other part of it is Klein Leash, that's 24 years. Again, in refill bourbon hogshead. I can't talk tonight. So it's some pretty old whiskey. So without further ado, actually I want to give you a couple more fun facts. It comes in at 47.6% ABV, non-colored and non-chill filtered. Technically, it's a non-age statement, but it is. We all know that if you email them, they'll tell you the ages. Yeah. So is this the oldest whiskey I've had? I think I've had a 40-year-old once. But this is close to one of the older whiskeys that I've tasted. So this is a blended malt, which basically means they take single malt whiskeys from a distillery, but then they mix it with other single malts, which makes it a blended malt. There's no grain whiskeys or anything in it, so it's a blended malt.
Gotcha.
So without further ado, let's get into some whiskey. What do you get on the nose? Oh my gosh.
So my first note was mint chocolate chip ice cream.
I get a little mintiness.
And then piggybacking that mintiness, it so much reminded me of, do you remember Cologne and those crushed menthol cigarettes?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe they still make these cigarettes where they have a little thing in them and you crush them and it turns a regular cigarette into a menthol. And he had those things and they smelled like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's really cooling. It's almost like winter I'm trying to think.
Wintergreen or
Something.
Yeah.
You know those commercials and they have like the when you blow up, it's like frost. I don't know. It's like a cooling experience.
And then I put it's definitely the peatiness makes it. I put ocean fire breeze. It's just so. I got a little salt on it as well, and so it just reminded me of an ocean. And then baby detergent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's baby detergent?
It's
the special kind.
Yeah,
the special skin or whatever.
It just reminds me of it. So I've been smelling a lot of it lately. Most of my clothes.
What brand do you guys use, or what?
Dreft.
I think that's what we use too.
Yeah, it's common. So.
You got anything else?
That's it, man. How about you? So,
I get immediately. It's like mildly peated, juicy fruit bubblegum. And I know I think Kleinlich 14 and a couple other ones I've said, this reminds me obviously a lot of Kleinlich because it has Kleinlich in it.
Yeah.
So peated and kind of salty, juicy fruit bubblegum. A little bit of cucumber water. A little bit of wintergreen or winter breeze, like cooling, like, what was that? What were those things called that people used to put in their mouth? Like, not certs. Something like certs. A breath saver.
A breath saver.
A mint or wintergreen breath saver.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a lifesaver, but it saves your breath.
Yeah. So I get pears, apples, maybe a little bit of ginger. This is one of the most elegant, candied, sweet, but not overly sweet. It doesn't even taste like alcohol. It's so sweet and candied and complex, and there's no burn to it at all. None. A little bit of floral, lemon, vanilla, chalky. Remember, I know I've said this before, like the chalky candy cigarettes.
Yeah.
Kind of that sweet chalky that you get with those candy cigarettes.
Yeah.
Marzipan, the slightest hint of pepper. And then lastly, a little marshmallow.
A little marshmallow.
What do you got on the palate?
Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, a lot of the smells carry over into the taste. For me,
I got the exact same notes on the nose for the palate as well.
Yeah,
Like, I don't have any differences.
the mintiness is there. The peatiness gives me. I said it smells like it tastes like the morning you wake up after like a campfire or something like that.
Yeah.
Just the and then the salt and pepper. Pepper definitely has a little bit of heat to it. Not a heat not like an alcohol heat, but
it's almost like the wintergreen minty heat.
Yeah. And then tart green apples. It definitely has a crispness to it.
Yeah.
So, how about you, man?
So again, let me take another sip. This one's special. This is really good whiskey. Thank you so much, George and Amy, because I definitely could not have afforded to buy this bottle on my own. I think at one point you could get it for around $500, but it just keeps going up and up and up on the secondary market. I mean, it's 34-year-old whiskey, 34 and then 24-year-old whiskey, so it's not that kind of whiskey aged that long does not come cheap. So again, I get cucumber water, again, like sooty, peaty, juicy fruit bubblegum, chalky candy cigarettes, vanilla.
Chalkiness is definitely there. It stays with there.
Marzipan, pears, applesauce, ginger, maybe even the slightest touch of cinnamon. Just, there's nothing unpleasant about this, and it's full of flavor. I couldn't even imagine how good this would be at cast strength. What about the finish?
Well, let me figure it out. Smokiness, that breath saver, staying on your tongue, it's almost like it melts into this chalky, just, if you've ever had like a Tums, just break it, like dissolve.
Exactly. And it's like the leftover, it's like thick.
But it's not
chalky.
like it's not like you're having a Tums on your tongue dissolving.
But that consistency, that viscosity kind of.
Yeah, long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Medium to long, leaning more on the long. You get all the peated, juicy fruit bubble gum, a little bit of oak. It kind of turns into this minty, wintergreen, breath saver, eucalyptus note, but then also a little oakiness. Then you get pears, vanilla, all that, orchard fruits. And, excuse me.
And it's so easy going down.
Yeah, man, that's a little bit of peppery. That's good stuff. Malted Man Cave Mark, what are you going to get it, David?
Jeez.
What are you going to give it?
Okay, so I really like it, and it's very strange to me. It's a very strange whiskey in that I love the blend. In fact, it makes me wonder about blends. Like,
now, this is different than a lot of
I know.
This doesn't have grain whiskey. It's not.
I understand.
Blended malt.
But there's an art to it,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
this is a beautiful artist's work, and I think it's great. I'm gonna give it a 94.
Dang!
Yeah. This is my
One of the better whiskeys you faced down in the main cave yet?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just because it challenges me a lot. It's like everything I normally am not a big fan of.
Yeah.
But it's done so well.
At first I was really skeptical of this. Like, no way, $1,000 for like a blended malt, like from Compass Box. No, thank you. Even though I love Compass Box, and actually I recently got to meet John Glazer, and he was the nicest guy.
That's
Did you
fantastic.
see the pictures
I saw
on Instagram?
Yeah.
Like, he took time. He was nice. He actually knew who we were.
Oh,
He
nice.
knew that we were the Malted Man Cave. He knew who I was. He knew that I was from Ohio, too, because he went to Miami University.
Oh, cool.
Ohio.
Go
He's
Red
from
Hawks.
Either Minnesota or Wisconsin, but then he came down here to Miami of Ohio for college. So he was such a gentleman.
Where our basketball careers ended.
Didn't I airball free?
Lots of things happened.
I was hurt.
He
I
was
played
hurt.
really bad in high school. Our last game of the tournament, we were at the regional finals, game before state,
Game before we
And-
go play at the brand new Schattenstein
and
Center.
I was hurt. And being hurt, and then it turned into like a little bit of a head case, just because when you're hurt, everything's messed up. Your shot gets messed up. Anyways,
There was a bunch of people there.
dreams went to die at Miami of Ohio.
We did not have that many fans there. They had a lot of fans there.
Yeah.
I just remember the fans. All right.
So John Glazer, amazing. I love Compass Box. I love everything they do. But just, I don't know. $1,000 or $800, that's a lot. But I'm here to tell you, this
It's a mortgage.
is top 10 whiskeys I've ever tasted. in my
That's
life.
fantastic.
And I've had a lot of whiskey. Top 10. It's that good. So 93 out of 100
Boom!
for Keith. Question of the night.
Man, it feels a little wrong coupling such a... But what better thing to pair such a terrible topic? My children go to a school where there was recently a thing published from the principal of the school saying that there had been an incident of bullying, and there was a video, and I watched the video, and man, it was bullying.
Kids can be cruel, man.
Yeah, so obviously one kid, who knows his family situation, but not the favorite, and everyone was it's just
The kid that got bullied wasn't a favorite.
Yeah.
You're talking about the kid that bullied for a sec.
no
Yeah.
no the kid that got bullied, definitely, and nobody was for him. Everybody was against him, and that's just a terrible position to be.
I feel like, there was always the pack mentality, but I
Yeah.
feel like pack mentality has gotten worse than it's
Yeah.
ever been lately.
And I can remember coming to my dad And I had a fantastic childhood, but I can remember going to my dad as a child, and he did not understand. I'm sure he got bullied, but he didn't really know how to talk to me about it. And so it got to me thinking about how will we have children that are just getting ready to hit that age of life where kids go from being just wonderful creatures to just mean and packful, like a.
If you don't
pack
believe
of
in
wolves.
human depravity, have kids.
Yeah.
You will see human depravity.
So, and I have a pretty empathetic kid and my oldest. And I just can't imagine somebody being mean to him because he's so nice.
Yeah.
And just what am I going to say when he comes home that first time and says, "Hey, Dad, this happened," and like the video, I mean, it's just bad. Nowadays, they're videotaping bullying.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, most people that watch the channel know that I'm a mental health counselor, so I work with a lot of kids who are being bullied. I don't pretend to say every time I give the advice it works out well, but most of the time, if the kid actually takes the advice I give, it typically works out in the end. And what I think it's the military in me, always try to handle things at the lowest level. So teaching kids to ignore, to walk away, to one thing that I teach them, and this typically works, is to fake it until you make it. Act like it doesn't bug you at all. Just smile like, okay. And walk away like, okay, cool, man. Typically, if bullies, like, they want to get under your skin. So if they realize, or if they think that it doesn't bug you as much, eventually they'll get bored with it. It may take 2 weeks, it may take 2 months. Eventually, if you stick with it, more often than not, the bullies give up. But if that doesn't work, go to the teachers, go to the principals. If that doesn't work and they're actually being physically abusive towards you, I mean, obviously, I think if your safety's in danger, my kids have my permission to hit back. Never let someone talking cause you to throw a punch, but if someone actually punched you or shoved you on the ground, they're going to have my permission to fight back. But all those other steps before is how I'm going to counsel them.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man, very much the same. I, once again, my dad did a lot of things right. And one of them was, I had a guy in 8th grade who wouldn't stop talking about my sister. And my sister was a couple grades older, and she was shout out Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
And he wouldn't stop talking. And I grew up like, you do not talk about women, especially your family. You don't talk about them in a certain way, and or friends' family or anybody. Anyways. And the things he was saying, I had not heard about, and I had to ask what that meant. What it meant, and then when I found out what it meant, I had a problem with it. But I also I was never to start a fight. But if he's just running his mouth all the time, how am I going to end it? Yeah. And the teachers weren't doing anything because it was after school. It was always leaving school, and it was always Lem talking about it. So, shout out Lem.
we ended up getting along with him later.
Yeah. Anyways,
we love you, Lem.
So my dad said, Dave, because I went home and I said, hey, what do I do? And he said, so nobody's doing anything about it? And I said, no. I was like, it seems like nobody can do anything about it. He's like, well, you tell Lem. The next time he says something about your sister, you're allowed to fight him. And so the next day at school, I was so excited. I went to school and I was like, Lem,
permission.
I was like, dude, Lem, my dad said I can fight you if you say anything about my sister again. And he never said anything about my sister after that. Because I was so excited.
Yeah. You were like 6.
I was 6'2" I was 6'2" in 8th grade.
You were like, what, 5 inches taller? He didn't want to mess.
Yeah,
he thought he wanted to.
But he saw like my Lenny of Mice and Men grin, like I'm
crazy, like the crazy eyes.
Like I'm off.
I got nothing to lose.
I'm off the chain, man. I don't have to abide by those rules.
I don't know what I'm gonna do if someone's like bullying my kid. I could just like see myself, my poor little daughter, my son, like I might just snap like, oh yeah, as an adult, like on like a
Beat
little
up his-
10-year-old. You gonna do that again? No, you're not.
Beat up his dad. This is what happens when you bully my kid.
Your dad gets beat up.
Every time he cries, your dad cries.
We're gonna lose subscribers.
No. So much along those lines. Kill him with kindness.
So always violence. Yes.
Yeah. Kill him with kindness. Yeah. 100 times out of 100, that bully is dealing with
Other issues at
something
home.
that is eating him alive, and this or her alive, and this is their outlet or their way, or they're a sociopath. And no, seriously, it's either one or the other. Yeah, bullies always have. They are always the smallest people on the inside.
Yeah.
Or they need professional help.
Because their mom's getting beat up or they're getting abused.
Yeah, something is happening where they need someone to step in, and if the school's not doing it, then But we live in our school system that our kids in are going to handle it. Yeah. So yeah.
So hopefully our kids don't have to deal with bullying, but that's how we're going to roll. Let us know what you guys think the best way is to deal with bullies. And I just spilled $1,000 whiskey.
It actually went up, and then most of it went back down into your glass.
I'm going to lap it up off the floor. But anyways, thank you guys as always for watching. Please like, subscribe. If you have any question of the night that you want us to answer and banter about.
If your kid's being bullied, the Malted Man Cave is coming for them.
Coming for those bullies. Slide.